Hi everyone, my name is Denis and this is my test project. The main goal of this project was to show how I can implement a site close to the original, even with the limited resources like mockups, 3D scenes and so on. We are greeted by the starting scene with a parallax effect and an entrance button. When you click it, we kind of enter the site through doors that open the way. After that, we see the site itself, where pages are implemented both as a slider and as a scrollable layout. The parallax effect is present on every page. I also added test model windows which can be closed by the close button and clicking the overlay. For the code structure, I use a classic component-based approach where each component is responsible for itself. App is the entry point. It contains 5 pages that are part of the slider, a static header and footer, and a preloader. All components are stored in the shared folder, which contains folders for large important elements as well as component and UI for smaller reusable pieces. For example, in components, you can see slider elements and control buttons. As I mentioned, each component handles itself, but I also created reusable hooks like use parallax, which is only a couple of lines but makes any background interactive. I choose React as the framework because it's my base. I know it well and it's simple for this kind of project. I decided to use JavaScript instead of TypeScript because for this test TypeScript would just complicate readability. There aren't many types of data here. For styling I use Tailwind CSS and for animation GSAP. Why? Tailwind is my number one choice for all projects, unless specific asked to use native CSS or SCSS. XAP is simple, smooth, and convenient. Honestly, when I first time saw the original site, I had to replicate. I was stunned. I didn't know how to handle 3D scenes, how to extract them, or even where to start. I decided to use a cheat code visually. I cleaned the UI from the scenes, took screenshots, and used them as a background for my pages. By adding the parallax effect, I created a so-called 3D effect. Another feature I'm proud of is Preloader. In the original, you enter the site through doors in 3D. How could I replicate that from a screenshot? I opened the scene in Adobe Photoshop, split the frame into two parts, and on the front end I animated each doors with a 90% rotate. Before that, I added a scale animation to create the illusion of approaching the door. So the effect of entering through doors was achieved. Some limitations at this stage include the lack of fully adaptive interface, which can be improved over time. Another limitation is the lack of content and usability, but these are being developed gradually. For example, if needed, light boxes or text boxes can be added inside models on click. The main limitation is the absence of full 3D scenes, since the project was supposed to be one continuous 3D scene. That's all. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.